Excuse me. Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight. Welcome to Thursday night edition. Upon further review, Eagles Talk, where we talk about the Eagles' previous week's game, and that was against the New York Jets, where the Eagles were victorious 33-18. So we go into the bye week, and we are on a one-game winning streak. We are 6-7, and that in itself lends me to want to start a conversation on. We usually do it at the halfway point, but we're doing it during the bye week. Let's do an evaluation. We don't have a game coming up. We'll talk about the game on Sunday. Well, let's do an evaluation of how this team has been doing thus far. 13 weeks into the season, 6-7. I want to tell you what I think about this so far, but let's start the quarter before anything. So you are watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner and sometimes an excited manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So tonight I'm only going to do a first quarter shot. I know I'm back and all, but I kind of got used to not doing shots. Yeah, so I'm just going to do one. And I'm going to do this Ciroc I got this summer watermelon Ciroc right here. So I'm going to do that. And, Pat, what are you doing?
You know I'm doing Terramana. It's either Terramana or Jameson. Terramana tonight.
All right, he's doing the Terramana tonight. So let me know what you're doing out there. We're going to salute our Philadelphia Eagles, our victorious Philadelphia Eagles, as they go into the bye week. They go in with a win. So they are 6-7 and a half game out. Well, at least they were on Sunday. I don't know where they are now, but they're not far out of the playoff picture. And that in itself is a shock right now that we are mentioned or in the playoff race with this being, a rebuild year. I'm shocked. So let's take a toast to our Philadelphia Eagles and then let's talk about them. All right, here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the first quarter.
All right, first quarter. So, like I said, very, very promising or delightful game to watch on Sunday, albeit it was the Jets. But, hey, we don't control who's on our schedule. We just play those people that are on our schedule. And if we can get a win, I celebrate it. I don't care who it is. They're a professional football team. They're on our schedule. We beat them. We're 6-7. I'll take it. After watching the game over again, wasn't too happy with the defense, but I kind of understand where they were in the second half. It didn't come back to bite them, but they were pretty much in a prevent defense for once they got up and they played the passive defense, but that's what they do when they're up. They were up and they went into prevent, and so we saw the ball being moved up and down, but it was a bend don't break late in the game, and thankfully they didn't break. I don't know if that will be successful against a more potent offense. But against the Jets, that's all that they needed to do was play the little bend, don't break, prevent defense in most of the second half, and it proved to work for them. But I'm not a fan of that passive, aggressive defense that they play sometimes. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That defense that they allowed the freaking Jets, you allow freaking Zach Wilson to throw for 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, with a quarterback rating of 83. Of a rate that makes no sense. This dude has 4 touchdowns coming to this game, 4 touchdowns, like 10 interceptions on his season, and you allow him to get 2 early touchdowns. Not like he struggled throwing those touchdowns. Those 2 drives were easy drives. It looked like the game's about to be a shootout. We have to be.
Well, what to the defense's defense here? The first one, which I missed because I was late getting off the show, so I didn't see the first drive. And after watching it again, it was a big time return. I mean, they got the ball on the 20. It was kind of, it's kind of hard to ask your defense to stop offense on inside. They started inside the red zone.
Yeah, but there are teams, regardless of field position where they're at, they should not even get an inch or a yard. The Jets is one of those teams. Their playmakers is a rookie. Elijah Moore is going to be a very dynamic player for him. But that's it. That's all the Jets have. So in hindsight, it's like you beating your little brother, right? You beat your little brother until he's able to beat you. But in hindsight, you don't want that ever to happen. In this situation, we go there, we take it to a Jets team and destroy them and dismantle them and dishearten them, and make the game look better than what it really was.
Yeah, I understand where you can be a little disappointed in the performance, but in the long run, again, I think that we are ahead of the game. Actually, if you look at it, 6-7. I don't know I can't remember what your preseason prediction was. But a lot of experts didn't even predict us to get the 6 wins. So we're already ahead on a lot of people's cards. Some people had us at 4 or 5 wins. So we're already at 6. The over under was 6.5. I think we're going to be on the over easily with just one more win. This team is, again, I said in the opening, let's evaluate just where this team is. At 6-7, I think this team is trending upward. And to me, they have exceeded some of the expectations. I told you before, it's a rebuild year for me. So I just want to see progression as the season goes on. And I've seen it, albeit the offense took a little while before they woke up. But they're now the number 1 rushing offense in the league because Nick Sirianni finally woke up and realized what his team does best. And I know that he's a West Coast offense guru, or he wants to run that, but he doesn't have the personnel now. So I give him kudos for being able to pivot to this run defense, what this offensive personnel does best. He has pivoted to that, and it's worked tremendously for this team to be 6-7 now after the first 3 weeks didn't look promising at all.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it all hinges really on our defense. Because, yes, it's about time these coaches starting to understand what makes this offense go. You got these hog balls up front. You use these guys. And going back and looking at the tape and look at Landon Dickerson and looking at Jordan Mailata actually being road graders, because that's what they're very good at. Pass protection leaves something to be desired, but their run skills right now is, you should be every game you should leave with at least 30 run plays, at least 30 run plays. I know the first was against the Saints, we had 52 or something like that. I mean, don't get 52 unless we're up by a lot, but we should at least average around 33 runs per game. But our defense is the one that's really bringing this team down, I believe.
Well, and that's where, like, you can be very optimistic at the things that you see the offense do, and then the defense brings you back to reality. It brings you back to realize that this team is not ready. We have to remember, if you are fooled into thinking that we are better than we are when you see the offense just march down the field as they did in the third quarter of this game, where they used up half of the quarter to march down and score. You see that, and you get very, very optimistic, and then the defense comes on the field, and then and then it slaps you back into reality. And you remember, okay, we're not there yet. We're not ready.
Yeah,
we don't have all the pieces that we need. This is still a rebuild.
It is a retooling year. I call it retooling. We still have some major holes, especially on our defensive side of the ball, of our defensive ends. And our linebackers, I think I gave up on Alec Singleton. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you go back and watch him, he's definitely not the answer at that position. But nevertheless, he's doing a yeoman's job with his skill set for us. They have left a lot of meat on the bones. I'm going to a Jalen Hurts saying they allowed too much meat on the bones. They let teams off the hook. And we got to be crucial. We got to really understand that this is a rookie coaching staff, and they're going to make mistakes like this. But now they've had 14 games together now, right? Going forward, they have all the information, all the info they need to be a better team, better coaches going forward after this bye week.
And speaking of which, I think that, we're quick, and at least I am. I'm very, very quick on the draw to throw Nick Sirianni under the bus. I'm quick to judge and maybe be overcritical of him. So let me just take a moment and lob some flowers, his bouquets his way. And I already alluded to it in talking about the offense. And again, I have to give him credit for that. I mean, we can knock him for his how slow he was to get to that to reach that realization that he has a running team. Let me do what they do best, what I have personnel for. It took him a while, but he did do it. There's some people out there. There's some coaches, and we've had one on this team on the sideline. I think of Chip Kelly, that was very, very stubborn in changing his approach or his philosophy. He just believed, and he was going to run that quick offense, and that's just what he was going to do, even though it was very obvious that defenses around the league have figured it out. He was still trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. And at least Sirianni, it took him a while, but he finally realized, all right, I don't have the personnel to do this high-flying West Coast offense that I'm well versed in. So let me pivot and do what my team does best, and that's running the ball. I give him credit for that. I give him credit for that because it has changed this team around, this season around, actually, for us fans. I mean, we still have some doubts in some areas, but the fact that we see this offense putting up some points and moving the ball is very encouraging to us, especially when we saw the lack of that in the first 4 games of the week. 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And just to go to some comments real quick, this is actually great that John Batista put this up there. Over the last 6 games, the Eagles ranked number 1 rushing yards per game, second 29.7 points per game, and they're only giving up 17 points per game. That's winning football. Indeed. So this team has transformed. They found their niche. They found what makes this team move. It hasn't been a big point differential in their losses. They're actually playing better football down the stretch. And it's a learning curve that is actually these coaches are catching up to that learning curve. But the defensive coordinator is going to be the Achilles heel for us reaching in higher links, because I understand you don't have some of the personnel that's needed to be a dominant defense, but gosh darn it, if I got Slay and I got another corner, I'm playing bump and run coverage the whole game against the Jets. Yes, all right, against the Jets. Yes, I'm not playing a soft zone and letting a rookie quarterback get into a rhythm. That should never happen. Our rookie quarterback should never come out against this defense and have a field game. Nothing. Never.
Nah, I don't know. I'm maybe I'm feeling contrary, but if we can praise our Super Bowl winning defense in the Super Bowl game itself, if we can praise them, if we can stand by, because you are one of them that's saying,
but that's Tom
defense
Brady.
But you said that the defense was the key to the game.
But
After giving up 500 points, 500 yards to Tom Brady.
But that was Tom Brady, first and foremost, not Zach Wilson, all right? It's not Zach Wilson. I said rookie. I didn't say Tom Brady.
But even
Tom
in
Brady's a
the
whole different monster, and even with that dynamic, they did make a play. They made a crucial play at the end of the game. They got me and you up out of our seats going crazy.
I mean, they did what they were supposed to do in the second half. I mean, although that's just, I think that is just this guy's philosophy. We're not going to get. I don't know if we're going to get any better than this. I mean, I'm hoping, hopefully, if we get the personnel, that his philosophy changes, because he is, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
And he's showing me who he is, and then we can say maybe it's because of the personnel he has, but we've seen him change the philosophy and get more aggressive, and it worked. But he always reverts back to this bend don't break. I think that's his philosophy. That his bend don't break.
And that's the downfall. You got to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive in this league, especially this passing league. All right, you have to be aggressive in this passing league because you got these quarterbacks like coming up: Joe Burrow, Justin Hobart. These guys going to carve you up. You stay in these zone coverages. Like even Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. If you give him a zone coverage, he's gonna carve us up. We got to take advantage of the players that we do have that can play and be aggressive. You can't sit back and say, you know what, you can get 900 yards, but as long as we hold you to 17. No, that's taxing on a defensive player when you have an offense on the field for damn near the whole game. And you say, oh, we only gave them 17 points. But the offense only had 3 possessions.
The offense did their thing on a Sunday, man.
Yeah, they did.
That
it's a
opening
lot to
drive
be
was the
yeah.
nail in the coffin to me. When they took up half the quarter on that third quarter drive, that was the game right there. That was it.
They ran 3 plays. The Jets ran 3 plays in that third quarter. That's
right.
unheard of.
That was good. That was great. That was great. And we haven't talked much about it, but our offense helps our defense. This philosophy of offense, I'll get to that in the second quarter. Let's just end this first.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're watching Eagles Talk. Upon further review, where we go over the Eagles' previous game, and that was against the New York Jets this Sunday, where the Eagles came out victorious 33-18. And we go into the bye week 6-7, a half game. I have to check that. Maybe a half game out of the last wild card spot, which is incredible. And when you consider what we expected from this team going into this year, I think it's incredible that this rookie coaching staff finds itself in a real playoff hunt. That's incredible to me. All right, so here we go. We like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So I am not doing any more shots. I'm going to continue to sip on my red wine. But Pat is doing the Terramana.
And you guys let me had a rough night.
Terramana.
Yeah.
And you guys let me know what you're doing out there as we salute our victorious Eagles as they go into the bye week. So everybody raise your glasses to our Eagles. Down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, let me apologize. How rude of me. I haven't even welcomed our third co-host, and that's you guys in the room. We thank and appreciate you guys for showing up every time we come on and supporting the show. So let me give you guys some recognition out there. I'm backing all the way up, and the first person in the room was Gwendolyn. She says, hey, Dante. Hey, Gwen, how are you? Second person in the room was Roger, and he says, Bird Gang indeed. Frank says, hello, Eagles family. What's up, Frank? How's it going? JT's in the house. He said, what's up, fam? John D. Batiste, always giving a shout out from South Carolina. Bird Gang checking in. Eagles Talk, what it do? We winning, man. We winning, and we are guaranteed, and I say it, yes, we are. I am guaranteeing that we will not lose this week. All right, Roger is in the house. He puts up there. Gwendolyn said, Bird Gang, what's up? Eddie's here. He says hosts have to take shots every time anyone wants to mention quarterback controversy.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to get to that. We got to do that. Eric, Brandon Brooks on his way back. I hope that's a good thing. I hope it is too. But to be serious, I mean, to be honest, man, I don't know. Brandon Brooks, I don't know if he's going to be back next year. I don't know. I mean, now he is definitely injury prone, right? I mean, that's 3
Yeah,
years in a row. He's official. He's official now.
yeah, it is. It's official that he is injury prone, but when he's in the game, he is a good run in pass blocker. He's probably one of the premier guards in the game when healthy, and that's the issue when healthy.
All right. So, all right, here's a question. John Batiste, serious question. If Kelsey somehow can't go, what do we do at center? Who's that? Herberg? Is Herberg the backup?
Yeah, they can't put Herbert back there, man. This dude, he came in the game and air mailed snap. So no, they gotta figure it out.
Well,
this week.
Brooks, I mean, Landon Dickerson could play some center too.
Yeah, but that cohesion that Landon has with Milata making that left side of the line so solidify that left side of the line, I wouldn't want to mess with that dynamic. I would want to keep that and plug somebody else in there at center.
All right, JR, he agrees. I think Brooks is. I think so too. Brooks is going, in his opinion. John Batiste, Brooks is expendable. I agree with that. Brooks is he's injured. I mean, it's 3 years in a row. He has a big number on the against the salary cap, so it'll be very interesting to see how he wants to do there. I know that that one of our bright spots this year has been the offensive line, even with the injuries such as that to Brandon Brooks. We've had some nice young players come in and fill in nicely. I mean, they've had hiccups, of course. They're young. They're still developing. But I think that overall, if you looked at them, you would be optimistic about our young offensive linemen. Am I right?
You know what? Yes. I would try Andre Dillard. We haven't talked about Andre Dillard.
Andre Dillard, and we shouldn't talk about him. He can only play one spot.
Yeah,
Why
right.
we cannot put him in there and take Mailata out of there? We can't do it. He can only play one position.
No. I didn't say tackle. I said put him at center.
Oh no, he can't. No.
You gotta be better than Herbig.
No, we saw him. He couldn't even play the opposite position of what he's trained to do. And I know it's a muscle memory thing that when you're used to kick stepping back or whatever, you know what I mean, kick stepping, he does it from the left side versus the right. But what do you think, if he's lost doing that, how lost is he going to be center snapping the ball? Nah. I don't see that.
Yes.
Yeah, JR is saying Dillard ever play center?
Nah. I just had to throw it out there. He's our top backup on the line. And Isaac Salamat, yes, he is injured. So he's done for the season actually. So
look at this.
What's that?
This is bad. They like Andre who? Look, this is bad. And then just said, I dead ass forgot we even had that. Flag, throw a damn flag on yourself that you would even bring up Dillard.
Flag going to the play.
We had already forgotten about him. He was like what trauma. When trauma happens, you try your brain automatically tries to like forget that. We just forgot all about Andre Dillard, and here you are talking about let him play the center position.
Hey,
what?
Man, anything right now? I'll be honest with you. Anything is better than Nate Herbert throwing a shotgun snap 20 yards downfield. So, I mean, if he can at least get it 5 yards downfield, I think that may be an upgrade over Nate. But I believe Jason Kelsey, he's a warrior. He's a Philadelphia warrior. He embodies what it is to be a Philadelphia Eagle. And I think he'll be good to go in our next game next week after this bye. I think we're hitting the bye week at the perfect time to get healthy with these small nagging injuries that these guys have, and I think it's going to lend us to have a successful second half of the season for us.
All right, let me just take a moment out and ask you guys to do a little work here. I'm calling for a call to action here. I need you guys to go to YouTube, to Eagles Talk, our channel on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Another thing that's about to happen is we're coming back on the audio. I know we've been on YouTube and Facebook, but I will be announcing very soon when you can catch the audio of what we're doing here live on the podcast. So if you don't have time to always sit and watch our beautiful faces and listen to what we have to say, you can always just go and download the podcast and listen as we break down Eagles coverage in such a unique manner that you love Eagles talk. You'll love the Eagles talk. So that'll be coming up soon, and I'll be making that announcement. Guys, let me see. What's going on out there? JT says Mailata is my guy. He is. He's a tough son of a B, man. I'm telling you.
He is.
Matthew says this issue's on the line. Both sides solidify what our draft priorities should be. Young talent, not dudes on their way out. I told you in last show that I want 3 defensive guys. And happy, we get that third first round pick. This week just passed, and with the percentages of snaps that Carson Wentz has played with the Indianapolis Colts, it's safe to say that if he does not play any more this season, that he will cover the 70% snaps needed for us to secure the first round draft choice from the Indianapolis Colts. So that is a great thing.
Also, 5 more.
5 more what?
5 more snaps, and that's 75.
So 5 more snaps, that's what?
75. So 5 more snaps, and we're guaranteed, regardless of what the Colts do, 5 more snaps from Carson, and we're guaranteed the first round, no matter what the Colts do.
Right. No matter what happens. I mean, he's played over 90% of the snaps, and if you go by the average of plays they run a week, he's we're in there. We're in there. So with those 3 first round draft choices, I have proposed that we get 3 defensive players, and hopefully 1, 2, or all 3 of them could turn into playmakers, because we are void of that on our defense. We are void of playmakers. We are void of a Brian Dawkins type. We're void of a Hugh Douglas type. We haven't seen difference makers in key defensive roles in quite some time, and it will be really refreshing to be able to give Jonathan Gannon some tools or some weapons to be able to hopefully run a defense that we think is more aggressive or that is more aggressive than what we've seen him run. I'm just hoping and praying that he's running this passive defense because of the personnel, and if he's equipped or tooled with better weapons, that he'll run a different type of defense. What's your thoughts, Pat? Am I out of my mind, or is that something that can happen?
It's no excuse. It's no excuse to be sitting back here in this coverage when you're playing the Jets. There is no excuse to be sitting back in a soft zone when you're playing the Lions. There is no excuse to say, you know what, we wanted to roll out this philosophy because we feel as though they have playmakers. You have Darius Slay, who's one of the top corners in the NFL. One of the top corners in the NFL. Steven Nelson has been one of the best complementary cornerbacks in Eagles history since we had Bobby Tiller and Sheldon Brown. Like, these guys can actually physically play on the outside. Our linebackers are kind of terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you with that. TJ Edwards, he is doing a omen's job. Our defensive line is finally getting some pressure on the quarterback. But again, you have to be innovative. You have to be able to disguise things and come with it. We can't sit back in these coverages and think that an NFL quarterback is not going to deliver an easy pass to a receiver. That's just asinine. He has to be better as a better coordinator, regardless of the players you have. You have to be better than this. You really do.
All right, Yendor, a.k.a. Rodney, says, Pat, I finally got to see that lineman from Michigan. Yeah, I would try to trade up to get him, buddy.
Yeah,
he's a monster.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. All right, so
he's JJ Watt-ish.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
all right, we can use that. We need that. That's an edge rusher. He's an edge rusher.
He's an edge
rusher. All right, we need that.
He's a power edge rusher. Like, he's a power dude. So it's not like he's a finesse guy like a Brandon. What's his name? Derek Barnett.
I want him.
He's a power guy. He has power. He has pretty much all the tools. And he got that.
All right, I'm sold. I want him. That's it. You don't have to tell me any more other than his name, because I forgot his name. But other than
Adrian Hutchinson.
All right, Adrian Hutchinson. Give me him. Give me a safety, and give me a linebacker. That's all I want. I want an edge rusher. I want a linebacker, and I want a safety. I mean, come on now. We
But
could
don't rule it out.
we could have had a linebacker this year if we had some priority. I know we
Yeah.
went after Devontae, but Micah Parsons was there. We could have got Micah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we could got Michael Parsons, but
we could have had Micah, yo.
our offense would have been crappy.
I
Listen,
mean,
there are some guys. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No,
there are
we
some
would have
guys
still
in-
been running the ball. I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
There are some
we
guys
still would
in
have been
this-
running the ball.
in this draft that's going to be dynamic. Listen, the defensive tackle from Georgia, Jordan, I think his name is Jordan Reed. I think it is. He's going to go in the top 15. He's a monster.
Who's that?
He's a Vince Vofo. Like, you remember Vince from the Patriots?
Nah, I don't want any more of those. I want somebody unless he's going to be like Aaron Donald. I want an edge rusher.
With Fletcher Cox and our other defensive tackle, that'd be monsters. But if we don't go that route, Ahmad Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati, he's very good. He's one of the best cover corners in college football. He's going in the top 15. Then you go look at Dean, the linebacker from Georgia. He's a rangy linebacker. He may be short in stature, but don't get it twisted. He will knock your helmet off.
All right, Deshaun, address this. The safety from Notre Dame. He could do it all.
Cal Hamilton,
we
yes.
need him. That's who. Is he
6'4",
all right? I mean,
6'4", 225. This kid can go sideline to sideline. Can't wait to see more of his drafts, combine stuff.
Combine and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, tell me this: where is he projected to go at this point? I know it's
right
gonna
now
change in
he's
the
projected to
offseason.
go in the top 5.
In the top 5.
Yeah. He's
All
projected to go in
right.
the top 5.
All right. We need somebody like that. We need a top 5 talent. We do. I mean, we man, come on. I don't even have to tell the Eagle fan base how bad we need to hit on these 3 first rounders that we have, man. And I understand that the percentages say we're not going to hit 100%. We're not going to bat 100%, 1,000% on these draft picks, but we need to do better than 10%. I'll tell you that. We need to be hitting. We need to be hitting up there. At the very least, if we have 3 first rounders and we use them all in the position that we have them in, I don't know. I saw somebody else post up there that says that how he likes to wheel and deal, and I don't doubt that. He did it this past draft, and we got an extra first round pick for this year. So I'll let him do what he does. But with 3 first round draft picks, if we do not trade them, I think we should be getting 2 of 3 home run hitters. I mean, we should be getting 2 or 3 stars here.
Yeah,
I'll give him one. All right, everybody doesn't pan out. Even the ones that they project to be stars don't turn out to be stars. So if he takes a star that they don't pan out to be what the expert expects him to be, that's okay. But out of 3, I'm looking for 2 of these players to be immediate starters and impacts on the team. We need that.
Well, we might luck up with a safety. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jaquan Brewster from Penn State. Yes, I'm doing I'm Homer, but he's a guy who can cover. He's 6 foot. He's rangy. He's one of the best safeties in the college football landscape right now. We might luck up that he drops out of the first round, and we could pick him in the second round and just go straight defensive line and linebackers in the first round. So I mean, there are some very interesting cats coming out in this draft this year.
So who is Kyle Hamilton? I'm sorry, refresh my memory.
Kyle Hamilton, he's the safety from Notre Dame. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. Yeah.
All right. Tarif is talking about the DM from FSU. Who's that?
I know who you're talking about, Arif. I'll look him up again. Like I said, it's not draft time yet, so I'm not in that mode of looking at some of these guys.
Pat lying.
I'm not lying.
Like it's not draft time. But as soon as we speak about college, you had 3 names for me last week, talking about somebody ain't in the college. It's not draft mode. You had 3 names for me on Sunday.
I did.
And you're not in draft mode. Hey, get out of here. I'm not buying that. He's talking out his behind right now. Pat is always in the college. He's always in college mode. He's always watching. And he threw 3 names out last week, like boom, boom, boom. We need these 3. Boom, boom, boom. Give us.
I mean, to be honest with you, college football is so entertaining. The game itself, far as the passion that you play with, is so different from the NFL nowadays. And you when you watch these games, you see the passion in these kids' eyes, and you cannot will fall in love with the game again. Like, I'll be honest with you, some of these NFL players, they don't have that passion. Just look at Jalen Rager. He don't have that passion.
Like Rager. All right, let's
Like
end the
Rager.
second quarter, man. We done drew it out too long.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you watch the Eagles Talk upon further review, where we go over or review the game for the previous week and talk about a little bit about the upcoming game the Eagles face. But this week they are on a bye, so they don't face anyone, and we are on a bye too. That means I'm off on Sunday. Wow,
Yeah.
I love that. I love being off on Sunday.
Alright,
And
yeah, my brother.
we like to hear Eagles talk. We like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. This week, I did one shot of Ciroc watermelon, summer watermelon, and Pat is doing the rest, Terramana.
I'm doing one more shot. I'm done.
One more shot.
I'm done.
He's tapping out in the third quarter. Everybody else, let me know what you're doing out there as we salute and celebrate our Philadelphia Eagles and their win over the New York Jets on Sunday, 33-18. Here we go. Raise your glasses to our Philadelphia Eagles and down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
Third quarter. So as I mentioned in the opening, or maybe the first quarter, I think it was, that our team is 6-7, and the over under for the year was 6.5. And if they win one more game, they have secured the over. For anyone who was betting the over, you're about to be winners the next game the Eagles win. And I was one of those that spoke about placing the $1,000 bet on the over. And, but I didn't do it. But I didn't do it. But I'll be sitting very, very pretty right now if I had done it. I know a friend of mine that had put money on the under. And in 6, he didn't want any more than 6 wins. Had to stay at 6 till the end of the year. He wins about $70,000. So he's praying that we go on a 4-game losing streak, actually. But I don't see that happening. I see, and that brings me to, what do you see in these last 4 games? What can we do? We have 2 games against against Washington. We have a game against the Giants, and then we have our final game against the Dallas Cowboys. What do you see? What's a probable record for us finishing this year coming off of this bye?
Probable record could be 4-0. Realistically, we could be 4-0. We can actually run the table at these last 4 games. What's going to take for us to get to that, to actually physically do that, is for every player to take a look at himself and step up. It's going to take every single player on that roster looking into themselves and step up and be a playmaker. It's going to take Jonathan Gannon to get off his high horse of this zone and let these quarterbacks tear us a new one and be aggressive. Tyler Hanke, the Heike, whatever his name is, from the Washington football team, he doesn't put up a lot of points. He doesn't put up a lot of yards, but doggone it, he goes out there and he fights. And if you don't go out there with any aggression against this guy, yeah, we're going to lose against the Washington football team. I'll be honest. But I believe what's going to take for us to win these next 4 games is each player looking deep down into each other and saying, you know what, we got to play for each other, and for the coaches to realize what works best. And you know what works best? Running the ball, playing aggressive on defense with that bumper run coverage. That's what works for this team.
I don't disagree with that. I totally agree with it. I agree with it. And I think that this coaching staff, or Nick Sirianni, has realized that, and he's running the offense accordingly. Sometimes he seems to get lost a little bit, but he had a good game plan this past Sunday. Although, like we said, there was a lot of meat left on the bones. We didn't score a touchdown in the second half, but we did sustain drives, and that's a bonus. That's promising. That's being able to look at this team offensively optimistically when you saw that they were able to move the ball up and down the field. We just have to be able to punch it into the end zone, because everybody we play is not going to be the New York Jets. You know what I mean? Let's face it. You know what I'm saying? Against the better teams, and with our soft defense, they come back. They come back easily. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's only the Jets, but we beat a team that we were supposed to beat, and I'll take that. I'll take that because in the retooling year, you have to judge differently than if it was a year where we were where we had a roster that we felt comfortable with going a little further in the playoffs. But we understand that this roster is incomplete right now. I do, at least I do. I understand this roster is incomplete, but it doesn't mean that I don't get excited to see wins and see us beat who's on our schedule, and we don't control that. So if it's the Jets, we beat the Jets, okay, and then that's what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, I want to answer this. I saw Eric Duff put up a question. What's the kid's name from Utah? His name is Devin Lloyd. That's his name, Devin Lloyd. He's a monster. He's a very good linebacker for Utah. And there, like I said, there are some guys. Yes, I'm not in the college football mode yet. I'm sorry, I had to bring that back up. But yeah, Dante, to be truthful, like this team has what it takes to get there, to basically run the table. They've been one of the most efficient teams in the last 6 games in the NFL. They've been consistent with it. You know, they're not except for the first half of the Giants game. They haven't been off schedule. You know, even in that second half of the Giants game, they went back onto schedule, even though they only scored 7 points. If they kept that same mentality in the first half, we wouldn't be talking about, you know, they have to run the next 4 games against the playoffs, you know. So this team needs to stay on schedule. They need to be aggressive on defense. They need to continue to run the ball effectively and efficiently, and use, you know, the talent that you have. That's not key on Jalen Reagor as a primary receiver. He's not. He's not that person. I always say he reminds me of like a Percy Harvin type player where you got to give him in the jet sweeps and stuff of that nature. We don't have a passing attack yet. Jalen is still growing in his reads. The game that we last week was, you know, simplified. Like, let's be honest. If you go back and look at this game, the game tape was simplified. Like, get the ball to Dallas Goedert because they don't have anybody to guard him. If Dallas Goedert's not open, hit your check down. That was simple. That was simple in the first half, right?
Well, I don't know. I thought I saw some better decision making on Minshew's part. Maybe that's because he has a year on Jalen Hurts. I think he has a year on him. Maybe
he does have a year on him.
He has a year on him, and
but at the same time, he doesn't have the quote unquote arm that's needed to be, you know, the starter for this team. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I understand that. But what I did like from him that I think Jalen is not quite there yet, and maybe that's because of his experience, is that he recognizes pre-snap. He recognizes a little bit more than what I think Jalen Hurts recognizes pre-snap. Because pre-snap, on those 2 touchdowns, he saw that Goddard was mismatched. There was a mismatch there, and he recognized that pre-snap, and that's why he was able to go to him. And I don't think Jalen is just there just yet. That's something that, you know, that's something that he could develop as a young quarterback.
Sometimes you have to sit out and see somebody do it a little bit better than you to really understand what the coaches are preaching to you. When you actually sit back and see, oh, that's what he's preaching to me. This is what he's preaching to me.
Right.
You know, sometimes you can get better off of that. And I know we didn't even talk about, we haven't, you know, touched the surface of this thing that's been going on since the end of the game on Sunday. But Gardner Minshew is he should be the outstanding backup. Gardner Minshew reminds me of Corey Debner. Remember Corey Debner? Corey Debner was a career backup. You know, he made his bones. I think he was his backup for like 9 years here.
Right.
You know, when he got in the game, he didn't have the strongest arm. He understood the assignment and he did his job. Right? That's what we need from a backup quarterback. Understand the assignment, do your job.
All right, that's the end of the third quarter. Let's end that.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're watching Eagles Talk. And this is our Upon Further Review episode where we go over the previous week's game. The Eagles played the New York Jets, and they were victorious 33-18. We've gone over the game. Let's focus more on this fourth quarter about the job that we think this coaching staff has done and how much credit Howie should get for this team's success. All right, so here we go, man. I am not drinking anything. We like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I am not doing anything. I'm just sipping on my wine. Pat is out. He's tapped out. He's not doing anything. Anybody out there want to do a shot, I'll still count it down. And we're going to talk about how we think this season is going thus far at 6-7, entering the bye week. So if you have a drink, and I'll sip on my wine, please raise it right now in honor of our Philadelphia Eagles. So everybody, down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
All right, fourth quarter. All right, this team is 6-7, Pat.
Yeah, that's
going into
unbelievable.
the year, I know that you were very optimistic. I think you had them winning way more than 6 games. But in all earnesty, after seeing the way this season has played out with a win during the first week and then two losses in a row, a 3-game losing streak also. To see them bounce back and be at 6-7 is kind of miraculous. You know what I'm saying? It could be worse than now. And they're at 6-7 with an opportunity to be 500 coming out of this bye if they can just knock off the Washington Redskins. So what's your thoughts? What's your feeling with this team? Are they trending up or down or what? How do you feel? Are they ahead of schedule?
They're way ahead of
or
schedule.
what?
I'll be honest with you. They're way ahead of schedule. They have played to a standard that, you know what, we always ask this team to play it up to. As far as the offense, you always wanted the offensive coach to run the ball. And doggone it, if Nick Sirianni didn't hear that and say, you know what, all right, I'm gonna run the ball. Ran it 52 times. Last week they ran it 41 times. This is all we asked for, and now we're asking for them to throw the ball. This team, they're overachievers. I'm gonna be honest with you, they're overachieving, but that doesn't mean that this is not what this team is. This team, I think, the way this team is built, the 11 starters on this team, besides Gardner Minshew right now, right, have been drafted by Howie Roseman. The 11 starters on this team right now on the offensive side of the ball have been draft picks of the Philadelphia Eagles. So homegrown talent is doing what we asked them to do. They're fighting, they're clawing, they're doing everything that's necessary to win these games. They're flying high right now. It's an understatement. They definitely are flying high, and I'm looking forward to seeing the additions to this team, not only the next 4 games, but even far from this, because this is a process. This is a retooling process, and you can only go up from here. Hopefully.
Yeah, and hopefully these last 4 games, like I always say, confidence accelerates the process. So this team, like you said, and I kind of agree that they are ahead of schedule a little bit. I mean, they're not tearing it up, but they look considerably better than what they looked in the first 4 weeks or the first month of the season. They look like they have confidence. The offensive line has a swag about them. This offense has an identity about them, which I think gives the team an identity, because we are playing smash mouth football. So this is a smash mouth team, and that offensive philosophy alone is dictating an identity to this team. It's giving, like I said, in the first 4 weeks, I don't think this team was identified as being a tough team. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say we were probably a soft team in the first 4 weeks, but because of them imposing their will on the offensive line and on the ground game, this team is now a tough team. This team is a smash mouth football playing team, and that's given us some identity. And I think that that the team is rallying behind that identity, and they're coming out and they're playing hard, and the offensive line is the head of that identity there.
Yeah, I do. The offensive line is first offense and defensive line. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's always been the identity of our teams. This remember the philosophy that we had back in 2016, 2017. We didn't need linebackers because our defensive line got to the quarterback, right? We still have that type of philosophy where it's though we're going to run the ball. We're going to smack you in the mouth until you can't stop it. Then on defense, we're not going to bring blitzes, but we're going to get to your quarterback with our defensive line. Some of that has to change because I'll be honest with you, our defensive ends is not there. For all what Josh Sweat can be, he's not a starting defensive end. He's a situational pass rusher that you bring on long situations on third downs to get after the quarterback. You know, you can move them in a run game, and that doesn't bode well for what we need at defensive end. And it's just I'm just kind of happy to see that these guys are actually starting to live up to the potential of what we asked them to live up to. You know, the offensive line is starting to move mountains together.
Yeah, so 6 and 7. There was a period of time in this season that I was calling for Nick Sirianni to be one and done.
Mhm.
I think now, doing a reassessment here, I think he has done at least enough to warrant a return at least for another year. Because I was just flabbergasted at how inept he was in play calling and realizing the personnel he had, like the plays that he was calling early in the year, the passing game that he was trying to force feed his team or the personnel he had was asinine to me, when everyone could see that this was a team that could benefit from being a run first or having a run first philosophy. And finally, when he pivoted to that type of offense, we've seen the team blossom. So now I've changed my point of view. Let's put it that way. I was calling for him to be fired. I was calling him an idiot and everything. Now I'm saying pump the brakes a little bit. I'm still not confident that he is the one, but I do see improvement. And like I said, in this retooling year, that's what we can expect. That's all we can expect. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for progression and improvement of this team. And I've seen it on the offensive side of the ball, yet to see it consistently on the defense side of the ball. But I'm all in with Nick Sirianni. I'm okay. He can come back next year.
Yeah, he can come back. Jonathan, you're auditioning for your career right now.
Yeah.
He's auditioning for his defensive coordinator life.
Yeah, Jonathan Gann is a different story, but go ahead.
Yeah, he's definitely out auditioning for these last 4 games is going to actually dictate, what the fans really think of this guy. Because, we already think of that he's not the defensive coordinator that we need. We need somebody that's going to be more aggressive than what he is. And just to say you don't have the players, like this guy stuff, those special things in there. Just do something different than what you were doing all season. That's all we ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just be a little more creative. The same thing we asked with Nick Sirianni, and he's done so with the run game. He's been a lot more creative with that and taking advantage. We asked the same thing from Jonathan. We asked you that. Yender says, this year showed me even if Brandon Graham wasn't always getting to the QB, him just being on the field helped the other pass rushers just because of the attention he demands. Mm-hmm. So in other words, Yender is saying we miss BG being out there and helping getting that hurry. Those quarterback hurries count a lot now in today's game. There wasn't a big stat back in the day. We just worried about sacks, but now quarterback pressures is a legitimate sack. I mean, a legitimate stat. I'm sorry, legitimate stat. And BG was one of the leaders of that category. So we do miss him. Although he didn't put up great sack numbers, he did get in the quarterback's face quite a bit.
But he was one of the guys who not only was he going after the quarterback and get those pressures, he on the way to the quarterback, he would always be tackling the running back. He was the guy who was well rounded at his position. And it's a difference not having him out there, and that's why I speak on this kid Adrian Hutchinson, because he has those tools to be one of the best in the game.
Well, I hope that BG. There's going to be some tough decisions in this offseason too, man. We got Fletcher Cox, we got BG, we got some oldies but goodies, and just to know, I mean, or see how that shakes out. Brandon Brooks, like I talked about, we have some oldies but goodies, and I don't know if they're going to be salary cap casualties or whatnot. It's going to be interesting to see our veterans that are getting up there in age over 30. What Howie decides to do with them, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's going to be some hard decisions. There's going to be some easy decisions. Kerrigan definitely not coming back. Brandon, Derek Barnett definitely not coming back. Jane Rager might be one of the guys you got to get rid of. You know?
Nah, they're gonna give Jalen. That'd be quick to pull the plug on him. He's a first rounder. You know how heavy draft politics plays a role on this team here. And even if the coach is not on board with it, Howie does champion the cause of his high draft picks. He champions that call, and they're not going anywhere. He's going to give them every opportunity to prove him to be a genius. So I don't see Rager being. I mean, we still have JJ. And he was a second-round draft pick that Howie still has on this team miraculously.
JJ's had pro football focus, right? He has more positive plays on the field than Jaden Rager has had on the field all year. Come on, man.
But those plays don't include catching the ball, which is his primary role on his team.
True.
We pay him to catch the ball. His position is wide receiver, not blocking, end. I'm saying that. So there you have it. I don't know. But he's still on his team, and he's a second-round draft pick. So I foresee Rager still being here next year because Howie's not going to give up so easily unless, our receiving core coming into training camp next year is just so over the top that Rager is just not he's not amongst the talents that are leading this team. That's the only way I see him not being here. So I hope that we do sign a veteran wide receiver. I hope that the money that we have in salary cap this year goes to signing a veteran wide receiver. That would be great for me. I would love to see Allen Robinson.
Devontae Adams.
I would love him too. I would love him, of course. You know that. He's going to be considerably more money than Allen Robinson.
Okay, we're going to have the money. We're going to have $40 million come off our cap. We're going to have some other contracts come off.
It means nothing if we don't have a quarterback that can give him the ball.
Pull the dump truck and go get this guy. I mean,
it's going to mean nothing if we don't have a quarterback that can give him the ball. And the problem with a lot of college quarterbacks, and I can't say that this is not a problem with Jalen Hurts, is that in college, especially when you're playing on those powerhouse teams, you're throwing to a lot of open receivers. I mean, when you're playing for Alabama and you have the best talent in the nation, a lot of times you're going up against inferior secondary talent, and your wide receivers are running free. They're running amok out there. They're running free a lot of times, and it's not hard to hit wide open receivers. Some of these quarterbacks from the big programs, once they get to the next level, is that you have to be able to throw that ball into a tight window sometimes. You're going to have to be able to throw your receiver open sometime, and they don't have a lot of experience because they're throwing to blue chippers out there that has their cornerback beat by like 10 yards.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
were you wanting to back the dump truck up to one of the receivers that is always open regardless of who's guarding them? Wouldn't that make it easier for a quarterback?
Yeah, that would make it.
All right, then. You just proved my point. Get Devontae Adams.
All right. But no. I mean, all right, I hear you on that. But the thing that makes Devontae Adams so great is not that he catches the ball when he's wide open. I mean, all receivers supposed to be able to do that except Rager. But what makes him the star that he is he makes those contested catches. Not that he has a whole lot, but Aaron Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer. He takes risks. He knows how to put it in a position advantageous to his receivers, and Devontae Adams is one that will go get it. That's how much trust Aaron Rodgers has in him. He will throw it when he's covered. Now, do we have a quarterback that would do that? And then, Devontae, being who he is, he'll go get the ball. He's an excellent receiver. And that's what the excellent receivers are. They go get the ball when when it's contested coverage on them.
That is true, but we don't have any of those receivers as big body. Listen, Devontae, for what he can do, he does go and get contested catches, right? Devontae Adams, he has the size. He has size, he has speed, and he has route run. He will go get the contested throws because Aaron Rodgers know he can throw it up to him, and he can win those 50-50 routes. Right now, we don't have a receiver that has that confidence with the quarterback that he can say, I could throw the ball up to you. We have seen it with Devontae Smith here, but in reality, we need a bigger receiver. We need a bigger receiver to complement our rookie receiver right now.
So yeah, I would take Devontae Adams number one, and number two, close number two, I would take Allen Robinson. So Howie, you give me either one of those, and I'm happy. I'm happy about that. All right, look. That was the end of the fourth quarter, man. We have a
And that's the end of the quarter.
I'm going to relax. I'm going to, oh, my goodness. You don't understand. It's a good thing. I mean, and we have to tune in to the Cowboys Washington football team game. And I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say it. But, if the Cowboys win, that will be good for us. That's all I'll say. If the Cowboys win that game, that will be good for us because the Washington football team is they're battling with us for that last playoff spot. So I'm not telling you what to do.
I just hope
I'm just telling you what happened.
I hope they both lose.
Yeah. We if that could happen, I root for that. That's what I'm rooting for. But other than that, we will see you guys next Thursday, man. There's not anything to put a chat up into the room this Sunday for. So you guys won't see us until after the bye week. Enjoy your Sunday off from Eagles football, man. Yep. Fantasy-wise, I'm looking great. I'm still number one. It was a classic, number one versus number two in the Eagles Talk Fantasy League. I took on Danny Ritchie, number two, and it was classic number one versus number two. I was the top scoring offense. He was the second scoring offense. I was the best record. He was the second best record. And we went at it, and it was very close, 144 to 142. I won not even by 2 points. I only won by like 1.8 points. It was that close.
Well,
so
just let you know, I blew in the show out.
yeah. We saw that. I saw that.
My team was
and
like
because of that, I have clinched the number one seed in these playoffs of Eagles Talk. So man, you guys make sure you sign up next year because this has been fun this year, especially when I'm number one. It's been incredible. I've been enjoying this.
How you enjoyed it with your team? Oh,
I know with my
man.
team. It's been bittersweet. Let me put it that way. I try not to root for my team because they are majority Cowboys because I had to do an auto pick. I wasn't available to do the draft myself. So I have Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, and I try not to follow it, but I keep winning. And then they're not the only ones that's leading me. I have Cooper Kupp, who's the number one.
Yeah, he's destroying it, man.
Number one receiver in fantasy. I have Justin Jefferson, the number two receiver in fantasy. So all of my fortunes are not just solely based on the Cowboys I have on my team. I have some solid players also.
Yeah, I was auto-picked for the first 5 picks, so... That's so.
And JT is saying he's the Lions of the FFL. Yeah, you are. JT is still searching for his first win, but I don't think he's searching very hard because JT, do you even look at your team? Because I'm that way too. I'm in a league where I've only won 2 games, and I barely even look at that roster because I know there's no way for me to come back. JT, do you even look at your team on Sundays? I don't even think he change. If he has people on bye, he don't replace them. JT is just thrown in the towel. Throw in the damn towel, Rock. All right, but anyway, man, come back next Thursday at 7:00 as we just preview the Eagles game coming off the bye week because there will be nothing to review other than the Cowboys and Washington football team game. But we'll have something to talk about. Be here next Thursday, 7 o'clock. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. For Patrick and our Nichelle in her absence, we will see you guys next week. Enjoy the Eagles bye week. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, smash him up.